We're in Module 2, Lesson 2, Compare Rational Numbers on a Number Line, and this is on your own. So we're going to use this information about Diego to answer parts A and B. Diego is participating in a cooking competition in which the judges rate performances for various criteria using fractions between -1 and 2. The scores for 4 competitors are shown. So we have 1/8, -1/4, 1 1/2, and -3/4. And this is Diego measuring the ingredients. We're going to complete the number line to compare the 4 scores. We're going to plot the points here. Hint. Each whole number is divided into eighths. Count the tick marks to find the right position for each number. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Just like I said on hint 1, we're going to divide into eighths. So we can change all of these into eighths. So the first one we're going to put is 1/8, and that's going to go right here. Our next one is -1/4, and we need to change that to be an 8 on the bottom. To make a 4 into an 8, we're going to multiply by 2. 4 times 2 is 8. So we multiply down 2 on bottom, we have to multiply by 2 on top. So 1 times 2 is 2. So -2/8. -1/8, -2/8, so we're right there. Our next one, we need to change our 2 into 8. To do that, we're going to multiply by 4 because 2 times 4 is 8. We multiply by 4 on bottom, we have to multiply by 4 on top. So 1 times 4 is 4. So I have 1 and 4/8. So 1 and 1/8, 2/8, 3/8, 4/8 right there. And we have -3/4. Again, to change the 4 into an 8, we multiply by 2. So 3 times 2 is 6. -1, -2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There it is. Let's check it. How do the locations of -3/4 and -1/4 compare? Which number is less? We're going to explain and then select the answers from the drop-down list to correctly complete the sentence. So our hint, use the number line. Lesser numbers are on the left. So -3/4. This is -3/4 is to the left of -1/4. So 3/4 is less than -1/4. Next. A sprint triathlon consists of a 750-meter swim, a 20-kilometer bicycle ride, and a 5-kilometer run. The race organizers recorded the difference between 5 athletes' times and the average time to complete the triathlon. Each value is the amount of time above or below the average in minutes. So here are our numbers, and we're going to put them right here on the number line. So let's see how many tick marks there are. So we're going to find the distance, and negative numbers are on the left. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Sorry, I lost count. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So there's 20 of them. Our first one is 2.5, so we need to put it halfway between 2 and 3. So we're going to go 10 marks in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Our next one's -1.25. So -1. So 20 divided, so we go in 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then -0.8. So we're going to go in 16. So 19, 18, 17, 16. 1.5. So we're going to go in 10 from 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. and negative 1.2. There we go. That one was pretty hard to do because there's a lot of dots to count. We're going to complete the inequalities. Enter the correct statement. Negative 1.2 is right here. Negative 1.25 is right there. So this is greater than. 0.85 is less than. Oh, sorry, wrong sign. Less than 1.5. Negative 2.5 is greater than because it's positive, and that one is negative. So let's check them out. Part C. Which inequality from Part B is comparing the differences from the average time for the slowest and fastest athletes in the group? Slowest. This one right here. So 2.5 is greater than this one. And then over here, 2.5 is the farthest above average, and negative 1.25 is the farthest below average. A cave system inside a mountain has caves at different elevations above and below sea level. One cave has an elevation of negative 4 and 1/4 meters. How can you use a vertical number line to determine whether a second cave has an elevation greater than or less than? So if the elevation is lower, then it would be below negative 4 and 1/4 meters because you move up the vertical number line. The values are less. If the elevation is lower, then it would be above negative 4 and 1/4 meters. No, it would be below. So these two are out. Let's look at this last one. If the elevation is lower, then it would be below negative 4.1, or sorry, negative 4 and 1/4 meters, because as you move down the vertical number line, the values are less, and that one is correct. Next. On this map of Main Street, distances are in miles. The plotted points indicate the location of landmarks. The library is located at point 0. So here's library. We're going to find the locations of the other ones. So the city park is right here. So we're a little over negative 0.5. And so it's going to be this one right here. The courthouse is at negative 1.5. The bookstore is at 1.25. And the museum is at 0.2, 0.5, 0.75. Part B, how do the locations of City Park and the library compare? Write an absolute value to compare the distances from point 0 to the two buildings. Select the answers from the drop-down list to correctly complete the statements. So the City Park is it going to be left or right of the library? So City Park, library. So the City Park's on the left-hand side. Because when we're doing, so they have the absolute value of negative 0.52, and the absolute value of that is 0.52. Part C, how do the locations of the bookstore and the courthouse compare? Write an absolute value inequality to compare the distances from point 0 to the two buildings. Select the answers. Here's our hint. Find the two locations. The building that is farther from 0 will have a greater absolute value. So the bookhouse and the bookstore and the courthouse. Bookstore, courthouse. The bookstore is on the right. So the absolute value of 1.25 is 1.25, and the absolute value of negative 1.5 is 1.5. So this one is actually less than. D. How do the locations of the museum and the bookstore compare? The museum is to the what of the bookstore? So museum, bookstore. Museum's to the left. And these ones are both positive, so 0.75 is less than 1.25. Next, use a number line to compare the rational numbers into the correct symbols in the box. So I have negative 1 and 3/4. So negative 1, 1/4, 2/4, 3/4 is right there. And 1/2 is there. So 1 and 3/4 is less than because it's farther on the left-hand side. We're going to use the number line to compare. Let's do our hint. When comparing two negative numbers, notice that the lesser number is farther from 0 on the number line than the greater number. The farther right a number is on the number line, the greater the number. So we need to get the common denominator here. I know I can make 5 into 10 by multiplying by 2. So I'm going to multiply by 2. And when I do that, I get 8/10 because I multiply 2 on the top and the bottom. And so this one is going to be greater than. We're going to use the number line to compare these ones. So I have negative 3/7 and negative 1 1/2. I know if I look at my 3/7, I know 3 is less than half. So this one's going to be closer to 0, making it greater than. Use the number line to compare if you need to. So I have negative 1.45. Negative 1 is here. 0.5, negative 0.5 is here. So this guy is farther on the left-hand side, making it less than. On this one's positive, this one's negative. And anytime you have a positive one to a negative, it's going to be greater than. And that's probably what something that says and tells you which sides. And our last one, this one's negative, this one's positive, so that means that it has to be less than. And you are done.